Hello there, Mysterious Man Toby back at it again with another guide, but not on beating a strategy of some sort, but a character guide. This is a guide designed to help newcomers get better with Minato and even enlighten players with experience. For the sake of the newcomers or lower level players that may watch this video, I have separated the meta part of the guide into a completely different video, meaning there will be a part 2 that covers how to use them in a more meta or spam environment. For the video you are watching now, part 1, I will be covering Minato in the following order: his movement, his combos, tilt, projectiles, grab, his first jutsu, his chargeable jutsu, ultimate, and awakening. Let's begin with a quick overview. Minato is a character that excels in all ranges of combat. He has good combo startup speed that beats out most characters in the game, a rasengan that can be cancelled into whatever for a plethora of mix-ups, the best projectiles and dash speed in the game, and a few other things I'm going to walk you through in this video. Let's start off by looking at his movement. Minato's movement is the absolute best in the game. It can be used to evade dash attempts from the opponent or just to create space due to its speed and amount of distance it covers. Mastering his movement gives you more options and an advantage, but it is not completely necessary, just very handy at the high level of play. Out of his 3 combos, we need to pay attention to just 2 of them mainly, his neutral and down. The up combo has properties that may allow for some fancy combo, and you can even infinite off of it, but we aren't looking for style, and Minato has an infinite with his neutral combo that is just as good. His neutral combo is great for maximizing damage on hit, as Minato has an infinite that can be done by performing the technique hollow step, jump dash cancel, the integrated cancel, or by dashing up and canceling a lag with an item like a speed up. There's also a specific method where you dash up against the opponent or terrain of the map to slow down the momentum of your dash and cancel into another combo. These are all methods you can use for maximizing your damage. I, however, feel hollow step is the best method, as it requires no chakra and you can jump and guard as soon as the opponent subs, putting yourself in a safe state. However, if you find this technique a little too hard, you can simply use one of the other methods I stated earlier, which are much easier but come with drawbacks, mainly being that most of them use your resource known as chakra. Minato's down combo stun locks, which is where you cancel out of a specific animation of a combo with a counter, allowing for more options upon canceling the combo simply because stun locks keep you in a stun for a much longer period of time. You can set up for flashy combos, ultimates with pill effects, or whatever you like pretty much. Finding the most damage is good when we have an opening, but there will come a time where we have to figure out the most optimal thing to do on guard. For damaging the guard, it's more efficient to block string. For more info on how to perform this technique and apply it, there's a link in the description leading to a video on this and another for movement canceling that gives you exactly what you need to perform Minato's block string. If you can't block string, you can do the down combo. It does the most damage but ultimately pushes the enemy the farthest. You can also do the neutral string or even the up combo, but you'll have to do a dash to extend the pressure, which leaves you a rasengan, which leaves a gap big enough to ninja move through. Certain characters' dashes are not fast enough to get out of Minato's neutral string kunai that he throws. This results in his neutral kunai gelling due to the fact that they cannot counter it as it beats it out. This is good for catching antsy opponents off guard, as well as good for being another option to just simply pressure their guard. Minato's air combo is standard, nothing too much you can get off of it, although if you're more of a stylish player you can work with this super low air combo cancel on a hit for something nice, which involves movement canceling. And that's also something I'll link into the description as well, and it's also something I've mentioned earlier in this guide. He can also throw a bomb or sack off of it for more damage, which is good to know just in case doing so would close out the game. His tilt can beat out dashes and can be cancelled into his chakra projectiles. Since dashes are beat out by projectiles on startup, this gives you another option to make it safer. Simply mix it up. Minato's tilt can also hit opponents that are underground lying in this animation if done not too fast, not too slow, but just right, in before they begin to roll. As long as you're meeting those criteria and the spacing is right, because spacing is important, it will not hit up close. You want to be around the mid-range when you do this, and then it should work. Now, it's good to know that this can be done off of any kind of knockdown, but the most practical knockdowns are going to be off of your rasengan and your counter. They give you the right spacing to hit it off, and you're going to see these situations a lot throughout the match. So that's one easy way to apply it there. It takes a little bit of damage, but the main pro to this is literally how much chakra it takes from the opponent. It takes a big piece of their chakra for no reason, and that's honestly why this is worth using to begin with, because it takes chakra and adds damage to whatever kind of situation you've put them in, whether that be off of a counter or rasengan, or even knocking them back with a combo and doing it. His chakra projectiles are the absolute best in the game as well. It is hard to maneuver around them, and they limit the opponent's movement options and force them to take guard damage from the support or simply get hit by them in general. Learning how to jump guard somewhat lessens the effectiveness of them, but most people do not know this simple technique, so he's given a lot for free off of his chakra projectiles. If you want to learn this simple technique, there's a link in the description for a video on that as well. Minato's grab isn't that good, and with the emphasis on mobility and slick movement and higher level play, I'd be lying if I told you it was a pretty useful move. However, if timed right between the confusion of things like support, or through some leer switch setup, or even a stun lock, you can hit it off, but don't count on hitting this grab against high level players more frequently. It's also good to know that there is enough advantage off of it to throw a sack or bomb as well, which is useful for knowing in case you need to close out the game. Now on to my favorite tool Minato has. Minato's rasengan is really good as it allows him to gel off of it into a hit. This means that when you cancel rasengan, you can cancel it on their shield into a hit, and there's nothing they can do about it. They can't dash away, they can't counter. I've even done some testing, and as you can see, there's a lot of stun that's big enough for him to hit right before they can do anything. This is amazing, as literally when you hit the rasengan, you can just go for your guaranteed stuff, or you can play around with the fact that they just can't do anything. You can literally do the rasengan, wait a minute, and then if they attempt to counter, which most novice players will do at the beginning, they will counter. You can go for an ultimate, which will do huge damage, or simply go for a combo that they can't sub out of at the beginning. Because as you guys know, or you should know, counters, when you do a counter at the beginning of it, you are not able to sub. So there's big damage in that. And what you can also do is just play mind games of the sort with them in general. If you don't want to go for the guard, you don't have to. You could even go for rasengan into rasengan. The mix-ups are endless in all honesty, and just preference. Although I recommend that against higher level players you go for the guaranteed stuff, because as you know, it's guaranteed, and a lot of these mix-ups aren't going to work too consistently on your opponents, and they're going to adapt. Rasengan has a defensive option. Rasengan can literally be thrown out in any tight situation, although most throw it out in anticipation of you dashing. If you're a corner, you can throw it out, and because of its weird invincibility, should they dash you, they'll literally bounce right off you if they're trying to somehow dodge the rasengan and then punish you afterwards. And if it hits, you're granted the space that you were most likely looking for anyway. And if you should happen to miss them, you can cancel your rasengan, charge your chakra and whatnot. There's a lot of benefits to using this as a defensive option, as it is a really good one in general. What's most funny is that most Minatos don't even think about the rasengan in this manner and simply seek to spam it. His second jutsu is time-space rasengan barrage. This move is extremely hard to hit on guard and just in general, but it does insane amounts of chip damage and guard damage as well, and can be cancelled on top of that. Minato can choose between two ultimates. However, my advice is to use the first one, as it has invincibility frames, meaning it can go through things and more range. The second ultimate looks pretty cool, but lacks range and invulnerability frames like the first one. So the payoff trade-off essentially is that with the first one you get more utility with it, whereas with the second one it looks nice but you lose utility with it, which can matter at a higher level of play. Minato's Awakening. When looking at a character's awakening, we examine their comeback factor, which is how good this awakening is at putting you back in a game and or even closing games out. The awakening game plan, which is basically what's the main pull about the awakening, and ultimately what should we be looking for. His awakening's comeback factor isn't too strong, but you can still get some damage and possibly even close out the game. The basic game plan of this awakening is to abuse its teleport along with retreating awakening actions for safe pressure and mix-ups. Off of awakening action hit, you have a lot of hit advantage if you teleport as soon as possible, or as you can see right here when you're touching the ground, you'll be able to teleport right behind the opponent, grounded. After teleporting, you can rasengan, time space rasengan barrage, combo if timed properly, and even go into another awakening action, and air combo, as well as tilt and grab. A useful tip with the retreating awakening actions is to dash back or retreat while inputting the awakening action. What I mean by retreating is to simply, as you are dashing back throwing a kunai, cancel out of it with your awakening actions. This covers the possibility of your opponent subbing. If they sub, they cannot punish you, and if they do not sub, you simply hit them, teleport, and choose another option. It's important to know that if you choose to retreat in this fashion, they can block after getting hit by the kunai. However, if you do it in this fashion, you can connect them off of a true combo right in this form right here. However, it's unfortunate that if they sub, they will be able to punish you right here as well. It's good to know that we can cancel into our awakening actions off of a combo at any point in time, off of our air combos, off of our tilts, off of the projectiles he throws. However, it's unfortunate that we cannot cancel out of our grabs, our jutsus, and our projectiles, if you will.
Begin!
In conclusion, Minato has so many tools that you can honestly mold him to fit your own preference. Whether you're looking to play a fast, aggressive style, a soft focus on more fun, stylish, creative combos, and even a really defensive style, he can honestly play them all. And needless to say, he is definitely a top character and worth investing time into if you're still on the fence about a main. For all of you ninjas that wanted to use him, I hope this guide gives you a good idea of what to do. And for the people who were looking to get better with Minato, hopefully this guide does just that as well. Check out the other part of this guide, as it's going to teach you how to play meta if you're interested in playing meta, or spam as some of you may call it. It does teach you that. It gives you the team and some other things like that. Teams and whatnot were left out of this video because this is a guide that teaches you how to play Minato, not how to play Minato with Tsunade as support and Danzo as support. That's something that you can learn with experience, and I wanted to give you the tools to better your Minato. And that's also why I didn't include tech such as leader switch and whatnot, unless I feel like that's pivotal to the character's game plan. And then, only then, would I have included it in there. With all that out of the way, leave a like if you enjoyed this guide, comment because feedback is greatly appreciated, and even subscribe to stay tuned for more. I've got more guides like this coming out, and just other good Naruto content, as well as Dragon Ball Z and other anime content as well. Thank you. This is Mysterious Man Toby signing out, and thank you guys.